Alright, so there's one guy who comes down, I guess, and trades all of the valuables that the homeless people steal. They make a cart, and this guy comes down, I guess, once or twice a week to pick up all the stuff that they've collected and go sell it, trade it, whatever he can do to get meth for them or heroin or whatever drugs that they want. I'm gonna try to get some video of the guy who's doing it here, the local guy, as well as the vehicle that they're taking the stolen goods and putting them into. Um, Not that it's going to do any damn good. Um, that guy over there by the tree. I guess the major thing, though, is that people just don't understand autism. They think that we're terrible excuses for human beings, or that we're some sort of terrible monsters, or, like we go and doing terrible things because we're different. And that's the thing about autism, is it's a disability. It's not a decision. It's not something they can drug us out of or any sort of crazy shit like that. And people want to drug us to try to get that stuff that they don't like about us to disappear, you know? Then you end up out here and you got disabilities and people treat you however they want. And you end up with a bunch of junkies stealing your shit, and then most people just get downtrodden, give up, and fucking turn into junkies themselves. Do what? But it's difficult for me because, like, one of the things that I've always understood is like having Tourette syndrome, right? It's a muscle disorder. So I do weird stuff with my face. I'll blink one eye and then the other, or like I do this thing with my wrists that people find like highly offensive. And I don't get it. Like, there's all these other people out here who are on the drugs, so it makes sense why people would associate it, like that thing with the wrists or the thing with the arms. It looks similar to what these people who are junkies are doing. And they're like, well, he must be a junkie. He must be one of these people. And it's difficult for me because I'm not one of those people. And then I get overwhelmed by being treated like one of those people. And, it's extra complicated because I don't know any of the homeless people in this area that well. So I'm not exactly getting a whole lot of support from them. But then the ones that remember me saving that woman's life last year, they're completely different about it. They treat me like I'm a person. They help me find my stuff. And even though they're addicted to things, they're still helping. And the other thing about that is that a lot of these people who are trying to help me find my stuff are probably the ones that stole it. Like that guy yesterday who brought my phone back, and I traded a almost $200 welder to get that phone back because of the evidence on it. And people are like, you need to do it all yourself. You're not trying. Like, they're not seeing the sheer quantity of things that I am expected to do without the resources to do them. And then I get it thrown in my face that I have to beg for resources because my resources were all stolen. Meanwhile, the folks in that car, the one with the Zoo York shirt, he's the one who takes all of the merchandise and goes and sells it. And the guy in the black with the shorts on, who had the tall backpack looking thing, that's the ringleader of all the thieves around here. And there's really 3 guys in specific who are doing it, but they're all working together to get it done. And that woman who was sitting down on her backside, well, she was doing heroin. She's going to have problems speaking for a bit. She's going to end up sitting there for about an hour or so drooling on herself. Or, until somebody tells her that she has to move. But even then, she's not going to travel far. And meanwhile, this thing right here is going to be the third or fourth one, I think. It's got a charger cord hanging right out of it. I'd love to grab it and see if it's mine. See, there's that woman still over there. I guess this doesn't have very high resolution. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm doing my best out here. I'm doing my best despite my disabilities. I'm doing my best despite being overwhelmed. I'm doing my best despite people stealing my things. I'm doing my best despite all of this. And it's terrible. It really is. Because like a lot of the people out here are doing terrible things. I just ain't one of them. And all the crimes that I had to commit were to defend myself or defend those around me. Hello. Oh. And I just so happened to walk past some witnesses of when my stuff got stolen. So, I guess that's my short rant and ramble. There they are, driving off with people's stuff from Starbucks. I got their license plate on this here video, so we got that at least. There's another pickup truck over here of a guy who's doing the same thing. Well, that's kind of how they do it. They gather the stuff, take it to camp, store it until the pusherman shows up, and then they trade in the items for their stuff. And there's not much you can do to help them. I mean, for most of them, they've been trying to get resources and trying to get help. You alright?
Yeah, I just feel really dizzy and nauseous while I haven't my head.
Yeah, I can tell.
Last night, the back of my head, the back of my head here, it hurt so bad. I felt like something hit me in the back of the head, and I get that sometimes. And then I started getting it in my eyes. And so, yesterday, most of the day, I laid down, but I had something around my neck, and I might not realize it, how hard the person was, still felt good, but not hurt.
Well, the reason they said something is because it's become an issue. Like, there's people congregating around my vehicle and people staying in my vehicle, and then the number of thefts that have happened there with my stuff and also with other people's things. Like, it really brings a lot of attention.
Right. But you know, I know it does, but sometimes people are just socializing. You live, if it was your house.
But it's not, and they don't see it that way, which is the complication of it. But it's not my house. It's on somebody else's property, and it's stranded, and all my money that I had to get it fixed and get it moved went to trying to get things back that homeless people in specific stole from me.
I thought about when I'm single, I always think about this.
Blankets and socks.
There was a quilted blanket from a nativity shelter, brand new, and it was white and green. I loved it. It was my favorite blanket. And it was given to me, and it was brand new, somebody made it. And if I had the sewing machine, I want to stay in dogs. If I ever had the sewing machine, I would probably make quilts, and I would give it to the shelter so then they'd have blankets.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to crochet too, because then you can sit there, you can just make it. You get a group of people that know how to do the stuff.
I macrame, my older brother crochets.
That way you're doing back too.
Yeah.
I've thought about that many times, even when I lived in Port Angeles. Because like, they don't have very many food banks, right? And they don't have any shelters. All they have is one place where you can get a hot meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they're really, really nice there. It's really, really nice. Well, there's this one lady that lives about, I don't know, not too far away from it. In her garage, and she gets It was really nice, and I don't have it anymore. For some reason, it's important. Just left all my stuff in there, clothes, everything I had. All it was just me and my purse, and I left. I hitched ride with some elderly people. They made me a sandwich, smoked a little white with me, and they were traveling. They live in Ocean Shores, and they were. And I love the lady because she's so sweet, and the way she talks, and him too, and they're married. They're just like the cutest little couple. But I was walking, and all of a sudden I sit down to rest, and she's like, "Do you need to use the phone or something? Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine, I'm fine." She goes, "Why don't you come over to my truck? And if you need to use the phone, you're welcome. I'll make you a sandwich." I said, "Oh." And she asked me if I was hungry. I said, "That would be really, really nice of you. I would appreciate that so much because they're not from Oregon." So we go to Shelton, and at first they were going to drop me off there. The thing is I don't know anybody in Shelton. Okay? And they're going to the casino, so they gave me $3.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there. Not trying to be rude, but I gotta try to find out a way to get my vehicle moved, to get my vehicle fixed.
Well, if you're parked over here, it'd probably be okay.
Well, that's the
probably
thing
better.
is even continuing to move it, the security can only hold off the property managers for so long.
Yeah, but you should be fine.
That's the thing is I've already spoken with them. I've already spoken with Starbucks and security here. So I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to take care of that.
No, that's fine. I'm glad actually you told me that's what's going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I do care, and I come and check up on you too to see how you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Not just to see you have to have something to eat, you know.
You do come see if I have food quite often, but it's all right. You be safe.
There's a bag over there with like a worker's vest and some gloves. I don't know if anybody wants it. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're in a bag. Could be good for a homeless person. They need some gloves.
I'll go take a look. Where's it at?
They're in that bag. Right there.
Ah,
Like you've been there all day.
it looks like it was somebody's stuff. They just didn't want to carry it all. So I've been paying attention, and some other homeless folks gave me the lowdown. There's 2 pushers who come through here once or twice a week. All the little tweakers around here and the heroin addicts, they steal stuff out of the stores here. The Chevron over there is apparently a hot target. Starbucks is a hot target. Basically, they steal whatever valuables they can, and then the pusher man comes up and he parks over in those parking spaces, and they deliver it all. They park it, put it in the back of that dude's pickup truck, and then a car that's parked a few spaces down. I was able to get both of them on video, as well as the guy who's the pusher, as well as the guy who is on the streets who gathers it all for the homeless people. And then he does all the pushing out here and distributes to the homeless. And he mostly works with a camp apparently that's over there off of I-5, right on one of the on-ramps. There's supposed to be a homeless camp over there. So,
Well, tomorrow Flo's going to be here. Make sure you give her those videos or show them to her. She can get a hold of our boss. We can actually do something maybe.
all right.
But yeah, is that what they're doing right now? Is dumping stuff in that truck? I'm assuming. Looked like he was giving him food though. Because one of them was eating. So.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. I mean, they've been getting food from me too. But the main guy who's the pusher in the green car, I mean, that's literally all he does. He goes around to here, and apparently there's 2 other places where he does exactly the same thing that are in the area. So
I wonder whether they're selling that stuff, maybe on OfferUp or something like that, probably.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of the stuff that they're getting, and a lot of it is just basic homeless gear, but all of those backpacks are full of electronics. They're full of computers. The most common thing they're stealing is telephones, telephone chargers, computer chargers. A lot of times what they were saying is they'll go into Starbucks and they look to see who goes outside on the phone, and they'll look in to see if their computer's there, but they're not looking for the charger. They see their computer, they think it's fine. So these people take the charger, and then the chargers get fenced off to places for cheap, or they sell them on eBay or whatever. But then most of these homeless people can't do that because they don't have the access to do that. So they need somebody with a house, which is where that dude comes in. A lot of the sleeping bags, that dude literally just put 8 sleeping bags in there, into that one vehicle. And some of those sleeping bags had cords hanging out of them, things like that.
I get it. They're rolling it up. I got it.
Yeah,
Well, if you happen to get the green car and this guy's license plate, let me know.
I have it.
Okay.
I recorded it. Matter of fact, it's recorded on this one that's still recording.
Because, yeah, I could call. We have a liaison officer that will actually do something, and can call him, let them know, and then maybe they'll get rid of this guy. And then they're gonna have to find their drug money somewhere else. I guess. I don't know. I mean, she's fried, man. I don't think she's.
It's heroin.
But I don't think she's fixable. She's done so much. She's mentally. You know, when they do so much drugs that they're just kind of gone.
Yeah, once they clean up, they got 2 years worth of repairing their neural pathways, but it doesn't actually repair. It has to find another route around the damaged cells, and after 2 years, you don't get any more repaired than that.
I'm not sure what to do with her. She just showed up. She's fairly new, the last month or so.
Yeah, she's the one that was trying to steal my phone off my dash yesterday, and she keeps coming up asking for food. Like, whenever she shows up to congregate, people start showing up for her because they have drugs, and she has the oldest profession, prostitution. Yeah, so it's really fucked up that first of all she's out here doing that. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people don't realize that when I talk about this stuff that I'm telling the truth. But then it's really complicated because when they get to that mentality, they just don't care.
Yeah.
That guy with the pickup truck, most the back of his vehicle is full of stuff, but I got his license plate too, I believe. They were standing in front of it when I made my first pass, so I made a second one. And those people getting into that black vehicle are witnesses to that backpack getting stolen, the one that you showed me where all that stuff was the other day, yesterday. Yeah, those 2 people getting ready to take off in the black vehicle, they were witnesses to that. That officer was right there too, over at the subway. I brought him the thief, I brought him 2 witnesses, and he turned around, got in his vehicle, and left. Like literally, I could have gotten all that stuff and my phone, or my charger's back. Now I don't have any charger for my computer. I'm fucking screwed on that. And I'm overwhelmed. Like right now I want to scream at the top of my lungs, please fucking shoot me in the head. But then I can't, because then I get punished for saying that, because I'm a terrible person for wanting to fucking not go through this anymore. And she's suicidal. She keeps talking about killing herself. And 2 of the other homeless people keep coming up and talking about killing themselves. And then I got a guy who's willing to kill me if I can get him a gun. I'm like, dude, I don't fuck with guns. And then there's those other guys who were apparently held at gunpoint today by a woman because they had so many backpacks on them. I'm like, that is just insanity.
Yeah, man.
It's a bunch of druggy homeless bullshit I don't want nothing to do with. But because I'm nice, they show up.
You know how you said people in the foster system, they age out?
Yeah.
I think you OD out of this life. That's what ends up happening to them.
It is.
They OD out of this life. Because most of them just go to jail, come right back, and then do that about 50 times. Then I'll never see them again after that. And they've probably OD'd, or they've got a long prison sentence.
Yep.
Would be my guess.
Well, the other thing is they're running around harassing the wrong people, just like everywhere else. Like they'll harass the people who are doing all the stealing and stuff like that once in a great while, but really they're running around in the mornings and trying to get revenue from people who are just trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was telling her that I got to get back to trying to get funds so I can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I don't think telling her anything does any good, man. I talked to her the other day. She didn't even recognize me the next day. I talked to her for like an hour. She's too far gone, man. She doesn't
you sure you got any talking in?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she talks a lot, but I mean, she's, I don't know. So.
Well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back to begging people for money. I hate that. Like, my disability money should have never been taken away from me.
As long as, if you go down to the corner down there, if you're past the light pole, you can ask for money all day. I can't tell you to leave if you're past the light pole. That's the rule.
I was out there for a few hours the other day. I made way less than $1. I I don't make much money flying a sign. I see the lady out there who's really fucked up on meth. She makes a lot of money.
Yeah, because she's a woman. The females, they get a lot of money. That's why they stick them out on the corner.
I know. And then we got the issues of the turnouts, which is basically that woman over there who's turning out her own body. There's 2 other women who are here
I
who
saw heroin
their
girl
boyfriends are doing
heroin
it.
girl got in somebody's vehicle, so I'm sure that was a hookup.
Yeah. Meanwhile, when the police come through, they're not going to go after the pimps. They're going to go after her, and they're going to punish her for being all fucked up, which I get it, kind of, except that the stuff that's supposed to help them doesn't help. It's just, we want you to sign this paperwork so that we can get free tax dollars, and we'll pretend like we were going to help.
Yeah. Unfortunately, girls like that, like I said, they either disappear or she goes to tell the guy, hey, that's $50, and he strangles her to death. That's usually what happens. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And then I'm not supposed to I'm not supposed to worry about them because they're junkies, so they're not human
They
enough
don't
to
even
care about.
investigate that stuff, man.
I know they
They find
don't.
those girls all the time, like over in the pond over here, and they don't do anything.
Yeah, they told me there was like 6 women who disappeared last year, were found dead, and never even made it to the news. So,
Doesn't surprise me, man.
I mean, that's all stuff that I've been learning in a lot of different areas. Hardin, Wyoming, it's a small community, over 100 missing people, most
There's
of
a
them
lot
Native
of places
women.
to hide people, though, in Wyoming, though, man.
There
There's
is.
a lot of-
And
a
that's
lot of
over by the
open
Crow
land.
Reservation.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, if you're Native, you're completely fucked because they don't even investigate Native women disappearing. You're just.
exactly.
I just read about that up in Canada. They call it the Highway of Tears. Like there's literally a reservation up there, and the women for the last 40 years have been just disappearing, and the police have done absolutely nothing.
Well, outside of Hardin, they do it they kill them during the winter. They take them out there in the middle of the country over by the farming country there, and they drop them off without a jacket or anything like that in the middle of a blizzard. I mean, they're going to die. That's it. And they say, oh, well, they probably got drunk and started walking that way. And you're like, they're 30-something miles off in the country. They don't have any chance.
I've read some of the case files because there's some of them are so old now it's public knowledge. Like you can read the actual what the police wrote like 40 years ago, and some of it's just woman found by 30 miles from river, underwear found 30 miles north, suicide. Like
Yeah.
like okay, she took her underwear off and she jumped in the river for suicide.
Right.
I'm like, no, she probably got raped and they threw her in the river. Like,
See, that's the thing with Natalie's
Yeah.
case in the DNA is that I'm pretty sure Joseph Lopez raped her before he killed her.
most men, usually there's sexual assault before they kill a woman. Usually, it's very rare actually that a woman's not. It's just straight up murder. Like that's
Right?
unless it's a hit, some sort of gang.
Or a crime of passion.
Yeah.
A lot of times husbands will get hateful because their children were taken away or they were slandered, so they never got an honest day in court. Or, women ganged up on them and tried to make him
And
seem like a
most
bad
women
guy,
are-
and they get hateful and they kill her.
Most women are kidnapped. Like, if it was me and you and somebody's coming to kill us, usually they just walk up to us, go boom. Women are usually kidnapped so they can do whatever the hell they want to with them before they kill them. So.
Yep, that's why I always try to meet in a public place like a coffee shop.
Men, you don't get that. You just get shot. There's no.
Exactly.
Unless it's Alabama, and they might want to do something.
Yep,
Squeal like a pig, kind of Deliverance style.
Deliverance. Well, it's getting pretty late, and most of my friends
I don't know
are
if you want
further
that,
east of here.
I don't know if you want that or not. I don't know if it's nasty. I don't know why they set it over there. Look.
I'll see what's in it. Oh my God, I hate stepping over curbs. Yeah, that's a worker's packet. I think that belongs to somebody who's working at a day labor or labor ready.
Probably got stolen today then.
Yeah.
But I'm sure one of the homeless people will pick it up. So.
All right. Well, when Flo gets here tomorrow, I'll show her the videos.
All right.
Thank you very much for all your help.
Yeah, have a good night.
Yes, sir. I'll at least pretend to. Now the pickup truck that was a couple of vehicles down, that's a different guy. They are working together, it's not the same vehicle. I guess the dude with the truck takes a lot of the bikes and such. They take broken bicycles and they take stolen bicycles and they change parts and spray paint them all ugly, roll it quick, and then call it good. And I think the guy in the green car might be back again for another haul. I'm doing my best. As far as homelessness goes, and all of these drugs and all of the blame and all of the hate, people just kind of look at us as all the same person. Like every homeless white male is a child molesting, rapist, druggy fiend who chokes people to death and beats people to death and would feed you to your own dog if you had the chance. In reality, there's a lot of homeless people that are just trying hard to get up and out. They're trying not to lose hope. They're trying not to get into the drugs, trying not to get so desperate that they get into the prostitution or the thievery. But it's tough out here. I mean, you guys already have a roof over your head. You don't have to come up with the first month's and last month's rent because you've already got it. You've already had it. And now all you have to worry about is your month to month. But for us out here, coming up with that month to month is damn near impossible because all of your money is continually getting taken because you're not rich enough. You're not rich enough for an attorney. You're not rich enough for a roof over your head. Hell, you're not even rich enough to be allowed to sleep. There's got to be something we can do about this, but it has to be we. All this segregation shit that I see, all of this sexism out of many, many women's groups. The man-hating lesbian type, as they're called. And not all of them are lesbian. Some of them, much like myself, aren't interested in sex at all. But that's neither here nor there, is it? Oh, there's the toilet paper right next to my vehicle where the flies congregate and the dude pees. Here's my door right next to where the dude pees. People often want to pretend that I'm full of shit and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'm out here living it. Of course I know what the fuck I'm talking about.